There were 3 of them, 2 brothers and a sister. Their family was not one of the most prosperous. Mom, who worked as an orderly in a hospital, and Dad, who spent his days wasted drinking beer, hammering goat in the yard of the house, and supporting the family on his wife's salary. There was no special friendship between the children, except that the middle brother, Kostya, and his little sister, Sveta, were connected by some semblance of friendship. After graduating from school, Kostya entered a military school and was home very rarely, even on vacations, not always. He had nothing to do there, and drinking beer in the entryway with childhood friends was not any desire. In the early 2000s, Kostya began to earn good money and bought a cell phone. The mystical story of his life was connected with it. One night, there was a call. The young man through sleep looked at the clock, A2.15. Who came to call at such a time, and then came the fear, maybe someone close to him, something happened. The number that popped up on the screen was unfamiliar, but still he picked up the phone. At first he couldn't identify which of the women he knew belonged to the voice in the receiver. "Svetka, is that you?" he clarified. "Yes." Her sister's voice was somehow distant, and some crackling could be heard. Kostya was even more surprised. Where did his younger sister get a cell phone? For those years, it was still an expensive toy. Not everyone could afford it. His sister had dropped out of technical school in her time, earned by cleaning apartments, and could hardly afford to buy a cell phone. Although maybe she'd picked up the phone from her next boyfriend, and for some reason the conversation was somehow strange. Sveta mostly asked her brother about his life, and when he asked her how she lived, her sister answered very reluctantly and one syllable, or ignored the question altogether. And when Kostya said that in the coming days he would come to his hometown and they could see each other, for some reason the sister said goodbye very nervously and disconnected. Kostya tried to call back, wondering what had made Sveta so angry, but he couldn't get through. An indifferent female voice repeated, "The subscriber is out of the network access area." During the next day, attempts to call her were unsuccessful. A few days later, Kostya accidentally met a childhood friend who used to live next door to them. They went to sit in a cafe. The friend, a little wrinkled, told him that a few days ago Sveta had died. She was found dead in a dead end at the railroad station, where there was a train with old freight cars. The girl had been shot. Svetlana was connected with drug dealers. She was even detained several times, but Kostya's younger sister somehow got out of a delicate situation, and perhaps her death was connected with this fact. But whatever the case, the police preferred to close the case as soon as possible, without investigating anything in particular. The mystery in this story was something else. Svetlana died around midnight, and Kostya talked to her at 02:15 a.m. But after all, the expert examination established that the girl had been dead for several hours by then. The girl had a cell phone. The killer did not take anything from her purse, not even her cell phone. But the phone died in the afternoon and the girl did not charge it, which means that she could not make a call. Kostya could not explain it from the point of view of science. There was only one explanation. The dead sister called to say goodbye to him.